Hello, this is Kurt Hostetler with Quest Community Church in West Liberty, Ohio. This video is a visual demonstration of how to turn on, operate the sound system. In front of me I have the console. If the console is not already turned on, you can turn it on by a switch back here in the back. Turn it on, and then the first thing you'll want to do is make sure we're on the proper scene. So if it's not on a scene menu, hit this button over here. It says Scenes. The right arrow button scrolls over one tab to the Scenes tab. Scene number 00 should say WT Bass. Okay. This first button says Load. You press on this button, Load. Ask you if you want to load that scene. You hit the right arrow to say Yes, I do. Now the proper scene is loaded. I'm going to move over here. These three components are for our wireless headsets and handheld microphones. These three Audio-Technica receivers are headset number 1, headset number 2, and headset number 3. There's a button over here that turns them on and off. This here is our Sennheiser 2 handheld wireless microphones. There's a button over here on the right side. Press it and hold it. You can turn it off. Press and hold. You can turn it on. This little 4-channel mixer provides sound out to the TVs out in the front and back in the offices. There's a button back here on the back that you can turn it on and off with. It needs to be on. And up here we have a camera. And here's an on and off switch right up here at the top. I just turned it off. You'll press down on the center, push forward, and that turns the camera on. Okay, now I'm up on the stage, and you'll see back here by the drum cage back on the back wall, there's a rack. And this very top component, this power regulator, just turn this power button on. That needs to be on. That turns on both the Digital Snake, all of our personal mixers, and the speakers. Okay, now I'm back at the sound console, and just a couple of things I want to cover is when you turn this on, or if it's already on, you may come in and any of these channels might be muted. If they are, there's a mute group button right over here, second one from the bottom. You can press that mute group button, and then we have 3 mute groups set up on this console right now. Mute group 1, 2, and 3. Mute group 1 is the instruments. All of the instruments are grouped onto here. Mute group 2 is microphones on stage. And mute group 3 is all of our wireless microphones, headsets, and handheld. Also, I want to talk about the iPad. If the iPad is not on, you can turn it on. We use this program down here, this app called M32, and it will connect to the soundboard. I'm going to walk out here because I just want to touch on my technique for mixing, especially on Saturday night when we come in for rehearsal. I probably should show you. I'm just going to come out here in the middle somewhere, in the middle of our worship center, so that I'm basically right in the middle of the audience. And then I sit down right about here someplace. And now, as they start to play, one of the first things I like to do is to mix the drums. So over on this right side, if you press this button over here, you come up with your different DCA groups. The drum group is over here, it's DCA number 1. And so all the times I'll turn that way up because I want the drums to be really, really loud while I'm doing this. And then come over to bank number 1. And once you hit bank 1, then you will see all your different drum mics. The kick, snare, 3 tom mics, and then 2 overheads. And I will just mix the drums, like I said, very loud so that I can hear them. It's the first thing I do. I get them all mixed the way I want. And then next I will do the bass guitar. And then after that, I just go through the different banks and I start working through first the instruments on stage, any guitars, keyboards, anything like that. I set all the instruments and get them mixed the way I want them. And then lastly, I will work on the vocals. One other item that I like to do when I'm seated out there, especially during rehearsal, is to use that opportunity to mix in the backtracks, and the backtracks will be over here on the console on channel 19. Okay, backtracks are usually inputted from the iPad that's in the drum cage. The worship leader will select what he wants to use as backtracks. I just find it very useful to mix the level of those tracks while I'm out seated in the worship center and not back here. It gives me a little truer sound of what it actually sounds like. And then once I get that set, I'll jot it down what the setting is for that particular song, because it can vary from song to song. Okay, so that is the basic setup for the audio system for Quest Community Church in West Liberty.